My name is Mark. I'm 17, and I remember that day with painful clarity, even though it happened nearly 2 years ago. I still wake up when pipes knock in the night or when the town tests the sirens. It was the last Friday before spring break, a day that should have been light and carefree. No tests, no homework. The whole school moved like it was already half on vacation. Seventh period, algebra. Miss Gray had given up trying to make us study. Instead, she let us play trivia games on our phones. The room was dim, the cloudy skies made everything feel muted, like the world was holding its breath. "That's Solteron," Zach shouted from the back. "The one with the three sun rays and blue background." I was about to laugh when the intercom crackled, rough and distorted. "Attention all classrooms, this is not a drill. Immediate lockdown. I repeat, lockdown now." Nobody moved at first. Usually, lockdown drills come with a warning, but this voice was different. Dry, shaky, urgent. Miss Gray reacted fast. Lights off, blinds closed. She locked the door, pulled us toward the back wall. We knew what to do. Sit, stay quiet, stay still. For a few minutes, there was nothing. Just breathing. And the ticking of the wall clock, loud like a hammer. Then the air changed. The AC stopped. A faint click. The building fell into a thicker silence, one that pressed against your ears. And then a single step. Somewhere in the hallway, slow, heavy, a dragging sound. Then another step, closer. "I know you're here." Someone whispered it, and we heard it through the door. A girl near me covered her mouth, trying not to sob. Bang. A loud metal slam. Lockers. Someone was hitting lockers down the hallway, one by one. Slow, deliberate. "I'll find you." Not a voice, a growl. Low, wrong. And then, our door. Bang, bang, bang. "Open up!" The door shuddered, but it held. Miss Gray pressed her head to the ground. Zach didn't speak. I just stared, waiting for it to break. It didn't. And suddenly, silence. Then the intercom buzzed on again. "The lockdown remains active. An unidentified person entered through the maintenance door. Attacked a Sandalith member. Police are en route." We didn't move. Later we learned that the man had been seen in the parking lot around noon. People thought he was some delivery guy. No one saw when he slipped in through the old staff door, but then the one that never locked right. The receptionist ran. He vanished. They searched for hours, found nothing. But the worst part came later. That night, a security guard heard a noise in the chemistry lab. The door was ajar, and on the floor, someone was sitting, back turned, motionless. By the time backup arrived, the room was empty, except for the strong smell of bleach and an open cabinet full of missing chemicals. That day, school ended differently, and every morning since, I walked past that same door he used. It still wobbles slightly, rusty, no camera, always open, just a little. A week had passed since the lockdown. The school tried to pretend it was business as usual, but that was impossible. Guards were reassigned. New locks were placed on staff doors. The entire first floor reeked of bleach, like they were trying to erase someone. But we remembered, especially me. Because a year later, I returned to that same school. Not as a student, but as a tech support intern. My new office was in the basement. The very place police had never fully searched. The basement was low, damp, and smelled of rust. But the office was modern: 3 PCs, an AC unit, a mini fridge, a couch, and a big TV. I shared the space with Dan and Gary, tech guys who'd been there for years. They knew every hallway and every rumor. They told me even before the incident, the basement felt off. Janitors avoided it after 8 p.m. One collapsed near an old vent once, said something was watching. I didn't believe them. Until that day. It was a regular Wednesday. Lunch break. Dan had gone upstairs. Gary left for coffee. I was alone, eating a sandwich, watching a video in my headphones. The phone rang. It was Mrs. Wilson from the front office. Mark, lockdown. Someone got in, we don't know who, stay put, and don't turn on the lights. I froze. Then slowly, I powered down my monitor, the desk lamp, everything. The basement has no door. Our office is an open space. And the door at the top of the stairs? No lock. I pressed against the wall, put my phone on silent, texted Dan, then Gary. Nothing. 10 minutes passed, maybe more. And then I heard it. The door above creaked. Someone entered. One step, then another, then silence. They stopped halfway down. I couldn't see them, but I felt them. Waiting. Then running. Footsteps slammed down the stairs. I dove under the desk, breath held tight. They entered the office, but they didn't turn on the lights. They just stood there. I could hear them breathing, ragged, struggling, like their lungs had never worked right. Then silence, and something worse than silence, presence. My phone pinged. A message from Dan. Stay hidden. Someone shot Mr. Belford, red jacket, gun in hand. We're on the roof, don't move. I couldn't feel my heartbeat anymore. The man in the red jacket was right there. I saw his boots, worn, dirty, one foot trembling. Then he whispered, "They'll never find." I couldn't take it. I bolted out from under the desk, down the hallway, up the stairs. A gunshot rang out behind me. The bullet struck metal. I burst through the basement door. Officers were already upstairs. They charged down behind me. They caught the man. He'd been looking for Mr. Belford. An old vendetta never explained. Belford survived the wound. But that wasn't the worst part. While clearing the basement, police found an old vent hidden behind boxes. Inside, a blanket, water bottles, and a piece of cardboard. Scrawled on it in marker, "I'm already here, and I'm listening." He may have been there for days, or since the first lockdown. Every time I worked alone down there, he may have been behind the wall, breathing and listening. Semester had passed. Mark still worked in the school's basement, but now had more responsibilities. Due to budget cuts, night security had been reduced. He was now responsible for the server room during the quiet hours after classes. It happened on a Friday evening. The school was empty. Mark stayed behind to clean up old server backups. The basement was silent, the kind of silence that presses against your chest like desert air. The server started lagging. He opened one of the oldest archive folders, marked Backup Feed Archive Photo 1. According to the timestamp, the footage was recorded the night after the first lockdown. The video showed someone standing in the shadows near the same staff door. They moved slowly. The thermal camera captured a silhouette, but the body's color was unstable. No heartbeat, no blood warmth. Something else. Later, Mark decided to descend into the old transport corridor in the basement, which led to the abandoned ventilation system. He brought a flashlight and a basic toolkit. The tunnel was damp, crumbling. The walls were covered in faded stickers from the 90s. He walked slowly until the beam of his flashlight caught a hand on the floor. It was old, dry, twisted, crooked. This wasn't a lost wanderer. This was a nest. An iron bed frame, a blanket, knives, blood droplets, shelves with notebooks. On the wall, pinned photos of students. Old, black and white. Recent, full color. Among them, his own 11th grade class photo. Then a foreign flashlight blinked on behind him. "I knew you'd come back," said a voice. It was right behind him. He couldn't see the face, but he felt the breath. He threw the flashlight and ran. Harder than ever. Behind him, the sound of nails scraping metal. He reached the top of the stairs. The server room door was already ajar. Bare footprints on the floor. He called the police. They searched the basement. Found the spot he'd described. Just an empty bed. And a message on the wall. "I've always been here."